Hi Capricorn, welcome to your November 2023 Astro-Tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Cappy, this is for you. Although, if you're only going to watch one of these, make sure it's for your ascendant because I use whole sign Western tropical astrology, which means your ascendant sign is likely to be the most accurate. So if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's that. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, like peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So those will be for your lunations. This will be for the bulk of your read. So the first transit that we're going to look at on the 4th of November, Saturn, your ruling planet, is going to go direct in your third house. Now, this is a big deal. One, because Saturn rules you, right? Whether this is your sun, moon or ascendant. So Saturn represents you. When a planet is retrograde, it's, it's doing a whole bunch of things, right? And sometimes it's not necessarily so clear, or it doesn't express itself in the greatest of ways. So as it goes direct, you're going to start to feel a bit clearer in yourself, a bit more powerful in yourself, and maybe the challenges that you've had in that third house area of your life might start to ease now. Now, third house communications, interactions, siblings, cousins, neighbours, your local environment, etc. Now, Saturn takes a while, right, to get up to speed of where it's been previously. But because at the same time, we've got a grand cardinal cross taking place. So the moon is going to be an opposite sign on your opposite sign of Cancer at 28 degrees. It's going to oppose Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn, which is newly direct at this point. Thank heavens, yay for all of us. And obviously both of those planets are also going to be square to the North Node at 24 degrees of Aries and the South Node at 24 degrees of Libra. Now, the moon is going to be in your 7th house, right? So let's look at this. Moon in the 7th. Your need is, you want to experience on a physical sort of visceral level, is commitment and support. And like what you're getting seems to be kind of like just more responsibility. And it might feel like this is just sort of one more thing, but it's like one step too far. It's like what I actually need is love, care, help, support from my, from my partner or from my colleagues or from my friends or from my business partner. And what I seem to be getting is a whole lot more responsibility for things that seem to be out of my control. I wonder for you as well, for a lot of you, it's like if this intensity comes from within, right? Because it's almost like you might feel like you're between a rock and a hard place. Unlike, usual, it's like there's nowhere for the goat to climb. So you're having to really just sit still with how you actually feel about something. This is a solid energy for determination, but it comes with an understanding that it's not over until the fat lady sings, as they say. Or should I say that it's not over until the fat Raffy sings. That way, nobody can complain about that saying, right? Anyway, she hasn't even whispered a word at this point, or so should I say, the fat Raffy hasn't even whispered a word at this point. So Saturn, your ruler, going direct on this day in your 3rd house is the push that you need for that to happen. And it's like, I'm going to deal with the crap that's happening. Now, because you've got this cardinal cross energy in the back, cardinal energy is always about driving something forward. I think it's going to empower that Saturn, because Saturn is the host of the Pluto energy that is currently in your sign. It might feel like, you're unable to say what you think and feel, or maybe like you've been silenced in some way, but this is going to see that coming to an end. For this, you have the 6 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands, right? So not only are you going to now start speaking up, excuse me, there it is, the Capricorn, right? Not only are you going to start speaking up, but I kind of feel like this is potentially quite an explosive conversation that happens. I really feel for a lot of you, this might be some kind of conversation, maybe some kind of, communication eruption that happens. And I gotta say, this is not an easy one. And because you've got the 6 of Pentacles involved here, this might be around money, finances, resources. It could potentially be about who's doing what or not doing, as the case might be. And I also wonder with this combination as well, if you, almost like if you kind of say to yourself, you know what, I know that there's nothing else to be said between me and this person. So it's like, for some of you, this might be, a conversation that ends a friendship or a familial tie. For a very select few of you, a relationship. Excuse me. All right, so on the 12th of November, Mars, action, energy, passion, desire, willpower, conflict, challenge, war. Uranus, rebellion, revolution, divorce, change, breaking of the old, removing of structure, anarchy even. What happens when an unstoppable force, Mars, meets an immovable object, Uranus, in the sign of Taurus? The most stubborn, fixed sign there is. Even more so than you, my dear Capricorns, right? Taurus is an immovable energy. Once it decides it's not doing something, Taurus energy is fixed earth. There's no stronger sort of stubbornness than that, right? Anyway, this is an explosive mix, right? This can send technologies haywire, so I would say watch out for your devices around this time. Now, the transit comes exact on the 12th, but I am advising everybody from the 10th to the 14th, no big purchases online. Be very careful with spending money over the internet. Don't leave payment gateways open. If you're drawing money out of anywhere like a cash point or whatever, check around you to see, this is not a time to be lax with your security around finances, around technology, and all of those things, right? Because it's Mars Uranus energy. It's an explosive, eruptive mix of energies at the best of times. And for you, this falls across the 5th and the 11th houses, right? 5th house, joy, pleasure, romance, fun, romance, in terms of like sex, sensuality, all of that kind of stuff. Now, your 11th house is your higher goals, aspirations, and dreams. It's also benefactors. This could be some plan for your future that you have that it kind of is at odds with, something that you feel, something that you want for yourself. It's almost like, and if you've got children, they might be a source of challenge at this time. You're getting a powerful sense that someone or something is not on the same page as you at this time. Mars in your 11th house is strong in its own sign of Scorpio. It's forcing an issue about future plans and longer term aspirations. It also rules your 4th house of home, family, property as well. So it might be like a place to look at as far as that Uranus energy in the 5th. It's almost like, there might be a home, family, property element to this that creates a bit of a challenge. It's a breaking energy, right? Which could be some kind of idea or karmic release around pleasure, around romance, around fun, around enjoying yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, this might be, it might be something on those lines that just really can't or won't be ignored. You might come to the realization that actually, you know what, I need more stimulation on that pleasure level. It's an explosive combination. It could see you break out of your shell in some way, which I think is awesome, where you just kind of say, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm going to see where the rest ends up. For this, you've got the King of Wands and you will be seen doing it, right? You are not holding back. You've got this with the Three of Cups. You've got this with the Justice card. For a select few of you, this could be a reconnection or a meeting with somebody that you had connected to from your past. It could be very sexy, very sensual. This could be, you know what, I'll never be back with this person, but the good time was good, right? Like, that's one way this could show up. For a lot of you, this could see you rededicating yourself or recommitting yourself to your pleasure and your joy. Consequences be damned. The King of Wands is usually a fire sign male as well, so an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius might feature as a part of this. It will be interesting to see how this shows up. And finally, this could also be a recurrence or a resurgence of some kind of legal or contractual matter that kind of needs to be looked at, especially when it comes to your children. For the next transit we're going to look at on the 18th of November, Mars is coming into a Cazimi with the Sun. Mars coming into conjunction with the Sun is called a Mars Cazimi. If Mercury goes Cazimi, it's called inspired thought or inspired ideas. A Mars Cazimi is inspired action. Mars rules your 11th house and your 4th house. So it's like with the Sun here as the ruler of your 8th house, this is a big realization that leads to some kind of action. The place of benefactors, blessings, and future plans and goals. The Sun rules authority figures, an illumination, which means that this could be a long-held dream or like some kind of old wish or desire is reignited here. It is likely, though, that it's a big realization about all of these areas, and it's like you decide to make a cut of some sort that allows you to move forward, especially when it comes to, a home property matter, when it comes to finances and resources, and potentially as well, some kind of personal history or trauma. This could be where you kind of say, actually, you know what, I'm ready to let go of that because it doesn't serve me anymore. You've got the Six of Cups, excuse me, with the Queen of Swords. This is an old argument, right? Six of Cups is a card of the past. The Queen of Swords, what we fight for. That's an old argument. Could be coming to the fore now with the Wheel of Fortune. But this is like an old argument that comes up and is actually resolved this time round. Your Queen of Swords could usually is an air sign woman. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. She comes up with the Justice card, so she's probably a Libra, and this could be actually that you're having a conversation with somebody that is a very official conversation, that is kind of like almost like a legal, that has like a legal element to it. On the 22nd of November, Venus is coming into an opposition with Chiron. This for you is happening across your 4th and 10th house axis. 4th house, home, family, property, real estate. 10th house, public status, your prominence, your career, your social status as well. So homeowner, mother, wife, orphan, divorcee. They're all statuses, right? Just to give you an idea of what we mean. Venus in your career sector in the 10th is nice. She's giving good blessings there, highlighting your talents. Venus represents talents, and in the 10th house, she's really helping your talents shine. In an opposition to Chiron in the 4th, though, it's like you're realizing how the family and the home life has kind of held you back from shining or really becoming all that you could be. Now, it doesn't mean that you're suddenly going to get rid of your family, right? You're going to chuck everyone out. It just means that you're going to start to reprioritize here and get things in place so that you can start making moves in terms of your work, in terms of your career. Venus also rules your 5th house of pleasure. So remember that work is a mainstay for Capricorns, but where's the fun, right? Where are you actually enjoying yourself? For this, you've got the Hermit card, the Sun card, and the Three of Wands. So a lot of you Capricorns are likely to put some travel in place here. I think a lot of you will probably be booking a trip this month. I love it. Go for it. Do it. Have fun, right? Get out there and about there. This could also be some kind of personal realization or illumination about work. And I wouldn't be surprised if you guys do that Capricornian thing where you kind of throw yourselves into work as a result of that opposition. It's almost like you kind of say to yourself, you know what, I've put everything on the back burner enough for my family. And it's not that I wouldn't ever do it again because I love them dearly, but actually it's time to be a bit more self-centered. All right. And then on the 25th of November, Mars enters Sagittarius, which is your 12th house space. This is a concentration of energy in your 12th house, right? You've got Mars there, you've got the Sun there, you've got Mercury there. This means that your past, your privacy, the things that have happened in the past, your old personal history, right? You could be getting some amazing insights here into your own nature, your habits, like your own personal hang-ups, your, what do they call them? Your bad habits, proclivities, your self-sabotaging tendencies. You could be really getting some clear insights into this stuff at the moment. It's a moment of pure honesty really that comes from within, right? And this could also be a need for more sexual connection. Mars is action. The 12th house is the bedroom. Bedroom pleasures, right? So, you know, that's something to consider. It might also be a deeply communicative expression, right? So it's likely to be that you'll be able to articulate your personal desires that much more, right? Your thoughts and feelings and hang-ups, you're able to talk about them in a much clearer way. And I think this is what allows for like a really honest communication with others, but also especially with yourself. This might actually bring more resolution up for you to a past matter. For this, you've got the Five of Wands with the Page of Swords and the Fool card. That's potentially quite loud, right? And I got to say, this does suggest potentially that you might try to project this month, all right, around this time. Maybe you don't like what's coming up. Maybe you don't like what your subconscious is telling you. Maybe you don't like some of your own patterns and processes or whatever the case might be. And you kind of, you know, you try to chuck it out there and blame someone else for it. You can't do that this month. You have to just own it, right? And by doing so, I think actually that's what's going to help you really move forward. Okay. There, let's have a look at your lunations. Your new moon and your full moon, right? So your new moon in the sign of Scorpio in your 11th house of friends, right? Partnerships, of, you know, social media, social connections, group associations. This might be that you find a new group, that you start looking for new things to do as a group exercise, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's also your higher goals, aspirations and dreams. You've got the gate 34 and power. The 11th house is a tribe house, right? And if you've ever seen any of the Harry Potter films, there's a really poignant moment where Luna, who is, you know, she's considered a bit, that's why they call her Luna, she's considered a bit, and she, you know, she's basically there, she's feeding these animals. And she's got all these different things in her bag, right? And the message in the moral of the story is, she says to Harry, you know, if it's just you on your own, you're not that much of a threat. And so she's chucked all of these different things out to these animals because she doesn't know what they eat. So rather than just assume, she takes one of everything and she chucks all different things and she figures it out by the process. That new moon is trying to show you that your power, especially to create the future, especially to really build something, it lies in a tribe. You're not going to be able to do this on your own. You need your people, right? So if you haven't got a tribe, this is a time for you to start building one. And then for your full moon in the sign of Gemini, this for you is happening in your 6th house of the body, the physical health and vitality. You've got a full moon there, so it's putting a spotlight on your physical health and vitality. It might also be showing you who your burdens and your banes and even potentially your enemies are. This is also your day-to-day work, grind, habits, routines when it comes to your work as well, like your day-to-day experience. This could see the revelation of somebody who's not your biggest fan, and it could just as easily be you like kind of coming into a realization of, you know what, these habits of mine need to change now. For this, you've got the gate 59 and intimacy. If you have lost the intimacy in your relationship, if you've fallen out of love with life, it's time to get it all back, and that full moon is going to help you do it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.